1,000 years ago, a great cataclysm shattered the sun and broke the gates of death, suffusing the land with the ghost field and omnipresent fuzz of spectral energy always just at the corner of your mind's eye. Souls began to appear, lingering, vengeful, and hungry for the warmth of the living, and demons, the immortal, soulless embodiments of primal forces and dark desires, walked the earth once more, some aping human form and speech. These terrors still roam the Deathlands, seared wastes kept at bay by the lightning towers that now enclose the cities of the Empire, powered by electroplasm, an energy source made from processed Leviathan blood. To power these massive barriers, these titanic metal ships of Leviathan hunters are sent out from the city of Doskvol to extract electroplasmic blood from the ink-dark void sea. And we sort of begin opening shot of this like cold, foggy, Victorian, almost Gothic-looking city called Doskvol. Alternatively, it's called Duskwall or the Dusk. Inside the safe havens of the lightning barriers, it looks like something out of the Industrial Revolution of the 1870s. We see trains, we see steamboats, we see printing presses, carriages, and just the black smog of chimney smoke everywhere. It's something like a mashup of Venice, London, and Prague, just all coalesced into one. We see row houses, twisting streets, crisscrossed with hundreds of little waterways and bridges. But a city cast in perpetual darkness, and like the art that I've put in the background, the only light of the city is just the crackling green light of the electrical barriers that keep everything out. These massive lightning towers that you can see in the distance at every point from the city. And in this new world where the embers of a splintered sun gleam weakly only at dusk and dawn, but at all other times, darkness reigns. Seth, I'm going to have you tell anyone listening a little bit about Killian Longwallow, Diadem.
Well, Killian Longwallow is a scion of the Longwallow family, a once well-off family of assassins who were used as tools by many other members of nobility or even government to carry out their dirty deeds. But perhaps they stretched themselves too far, made themselves allies to too many, and therefore made themselves enemies to too many. And who exactly brought the downfall of the Longwallow family is unsure. But on one fated night, all of Killian's immediate family, extended family, anybody who was part of this web of assassins was put to death. In a rather poetic way, I would say. The assassins being assassinated. Killian being the only member managing to escape. He has fallen from his high status, ending up in crow's feet with barely a penny to his name anymore, carrying the only part of his past with him being his clothes that he kept, his fancy tailored suits and whatnot, his assassin's tools, and finally his alias, Diadem, a symbol of those heights from which he and his family have fallen.
Oh shit. All right. And what about Brick's Keel, otherwise known as Ghost?
Yeah, so Rix used to work in the rail tunnels, laying track and keeping the canaries alive until one fateful day when they collapsed and killed his entire crew. And whether it was sheer luck or, his instincts and skills that gave him just a moment's notice enough to crawl out alive, he was the only survivor. So, everyone thinks that he died with the rest of his company, and that's why he's known as a ghost. So he just kind of stays in the dark now, in the shadows. He no longer keeps the company of canaries. He's upgraded to a raven. And he uses his skills of staying in the dark to kill people.
Nice. And what about Quest Grind, otherwise known as Gorn?
Quest Grind was born in a gutter. He never knew his father. His mother worked herself to death scrubbing floors for barely a few copper pieces. He quickly learned, as he turned to the streets to try to get some funds to get her off of her feet, that his strength was going to be his strength, and that was really all he had. He later on got the nickname Gorn because of the brutish way in which he fought. He soon got invited to participate in some street fighting activities, and after a few years of doing quite well, the opportunity to gain some funds through some not so elegant means caught up with him eventually, and he's now returned to the streets trying to regain his honor as a true street brute, back to his roots.
Great. And yeah, we center in on these three rogues, these three villains, as they cross a gangplank onto a ship that is moored close to one of the rivers that borders the neighborhood of Crow's Foot, where they are from. Right underneath the Candle Bridge, which is on the eastern side. There's just like this small dinghy that's moored. Stepping on, that's where we find our characters at the bottom, hungry for more. Little do they know that it is their time to carve out their place on this turf, and the opportunity of a lifetime was about to come across their radar. As stepping onto this boat, led in by a doorman into the darkness, you find a figure you've only heard whispered about. Someone who demands not audience, but demands tribute from whoever she usually speaks to. You see an old woman in sort of a patchwork shawl. She's missing an eye, and you see she's like sort of has like sun-baked skin and huge, like almost like golden hoop earrings. And she looks at all of you and she's like, sit down. Take a seat anywhere you like.
Diadem takes a seat directly across from her, makes a dramatic show as he sits down of flicking one of the sides of his tailcoat to the side as he crosses one leg over the other and sits with his hands folded one over the other.
Gorn looks for the tallest chair.
She looks like she's sitting in the tallest chair, but you could go for like the second tallest chair if you want.
I'll go for the second.
Kick her out.
Hey, do you mind moving?
I'll perch myself up on top of it.
Okay. What about Ghost?
He'll probably, there's like a wall. He'll probably just like stay in the back and just like lean against that. Just kind of hang in the back. Is there a wall or is this like pretty open? He'll hang in the back regardless.
Yeah, it just looks to be almost like the captain's quarters, if you could even call it that, of this small ship. It looks to be purposefully designed to be sort of like a small like cutter that can sort of like very easily move through these canals, as well as, you know, the open water if it has to. And you, Diadem, know this woman to be a woman named Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
And she summoned you. She's actually the head of... She's a ward boss of another area of the city. And she runs a faction called the Hive. And they're, you know, rumored to be sort of like the secret hand behind a lot of the mercantile activity in Doskvol. Because a lot of ledger books will have like this small B engraved on various pieces of paper in like ledger books. And she's like, I'm sure all of you have heard the news that your ward boss, Rorik, was found in the canal last night. Now me, I happen to be pretty fucking fond of Rorik myself. And not too fond of his replacement, Lyssa. So, and she takes out a chest full of gold. If you can make Lyssa disappear, you'll be 8 coin richer for it. I would side with my normal loyalties, but I need a crew that's deniable, if you catch my meaning.
A group outside of your normal purview, then.
That's right. If I sent anyone from Silkshore, they'd know immediate what was going on, but 3 nobodies that take Lyssa out from her own district, that's more of a likely story, I think.
Likely story indeed.
And while she's talking, she's sort of like flicking something between her fingers, and you see it looks to be like a ring. And she looks out the window. I'm sure you already know as well that I was fond of Rorik. So Lyssa, don't make her go easy. You give her hell from me.
We'll make sure to use all of the tools at our disposal then.
Good man.
None are going to go unused.
Excellent. So take this here coin. Well, half of it for now. She takes out 4 coin. And the second half upon completion.
Diadem grabs the coin from her hand. Just tucks it into a pocket that he might have. We wouldn't have it any other way. And we thank you for this opportunity. Perhaps it will open a door for us to work together again in the future.
If you do a good job. Anything can happen in this city.
We will.
And yeah, she ushers you out. And at this point, we see for the first time, like, Crow's Foot proper. We see, like, crossroads just merging many qualities of the neighboring districts attached to it. We see, like, the labor and trade of the docks. We see, like, the illicit vices of Silk Shore, the poverty of Char Hollow to the south. And also some architecture that's more classical in the style of Charter Hall. It's a patchwork district, and there's just a menagerie of competing street gangs, as well as bluecoat squads, who are essentially the police of Doskvol, that fight with each other, using each corner as territory in an endless turf war. And so as you guys spill out from this ship onto this street, not dissimilar to this art that I have in the background here, the crackling green hues cast upon people's faces, and, like, you know, like, hurried and confused vendors' faces. We're going to cut right to it. So you guys are going to tell me if you would like to gather information before you start this score to assassinate her.
Probably a good idea. I mean, what's the downside? I mean, it's not like they're on a. It didn't seem like they're on a grand timeline.
The only downside is if you fail to gather information, they will become aware that you're looking out for them.
So our target's name is, you said Lyssa? Is that her name? Okay.
Yeah, so to provide a little bit of background, Lyssa is the head of the dominant gang in the area. They're a vicious gang of thugs called the Crows. And you heard about this. The old boss, Rorik, was tossed in the canal.
Okay.
And she's asserted leadership. And because of the change-up, immediately there were these two gangs that started fighting overnight now that Rorik was not there to keep the peace.
And he was the head of the Crows, so the same gang.
Yeah.
So it seems like some sort of mutiny or something happened.
And you particularly despise Lyssa because she's also from an aristocratic origin. It's almost like there isn't enough room for the both of us in this district. She puts a lot of fanciful airs on, but unlike you, she's sort of like someone who's like risen from the bottom now to great heights. So that's probably why
so
you
like,
hate her
so
even
like
more.
like a direct foil to.
Yeah. And this is what they look like. This is Lyssa and her main man who perhaps assisted in murdering Rorik, Bell.
Bell.
I think
Just
we
so
should.
the. You can go ahead, Vinny.
I was just I think we should scout them out. I mean, we're gonna kill them either way, but I think might give us an extra, unless we're trying to go cautiously. But
Well, good news is, we likely know where she's holed up. I think that I can find some information on their base of operations, a way for us to get in, where we might be able to locate her.
Alrighty. So for that, pull up the rules here for. So for gather information, I'm first going to ask you how you're going to gather that information. How do you go about it? And for this, you're going to tie it basically to one of those skills.
the 12.
Yeah. It's one of your action ratings.
Maybe survey.
I'm definitely going to use consort to try to use some like old family contacts or something.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, so normally if you gather information for a given score, if there's no obstacle to what you're trying to do, you just get the information. In this case, I think the crows are going to be an obstacle, because if you ask around too much, they're going to become aware that you're asking, and they might come after you.
Well, luckily I know an off the books information broker, close friend of mine.
Nice. Oh, is that one of your contacts?
That's my the friend I chose was Salia, the information
Oh,
broker.
nice.
So I'm gonna leverage the friend plus consort, and maybe it seems like a lot of people are kind of pissed off that what's his name, who's dead?
Roderick.
Roderick.
His name is Rorik. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, Rorik.
Like Rorik's dead.
Rorik's dead.
Rorik.
Now that Rorik's dead, it seems like this Crow's Feet, maybe that's even why we chose this as a place of operation, is that yeah, there's a lot of crime, but everybody was kind of kept in check in their own lane, and that was mostly thanks to Rorik. So maybe this information broker Salia might also have a little bit might be a little disappointed with the situation, and she might have some reason for wanting to take Lyssa down as well. So I'm gonna use my friend.
Okay.
Consort is specifically with like connections.
Yep.
So
you're gonna get +1 die for using Salia.
I also get +1 die from my special ability I chose. Which is weaving
nice.
the web. You gain a +1 die to consort when you gather information on a target for a score. And you get a +1 die to the engagement roll for that operation as well.
Perfect. So So for every action you guys take, I'm basically going to describe the position and the effect. So you guys will get like an accurate idea of what's at stake. The default is risky, but because you're going to Salia, I'm going to put this at a controlled position. I think you're just asking someone that you know, and they're not really going to like tattle to anyone necessarily, so it's not very like likely that they're going to find out. So you're going to be in a controlled position.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say the effect is gonna be standard. I don't think she's in a particularly fantastic place to know information about them, but she might know bits and pieces, so it's gonna be for standard effect. Is there anything else you would like to add to this roll? Would you like to try to? Oh, actually, never mind. We can't do that for a gather information. So you can just roll that.
All right. Is there a way for me to add dice when I roll it, or should I just roll them separately afterwards?
I haven't found a way, so I guess for now you can just
Position. Okay. Position controlled. It's just d6s, right?
yeah. Oh, does it ask you the position and effect?
Yep.
Oh, that's
effect,
cool.
You said standard.
Standard effect.
Bonus dice, 2 in this case, for the friend and for the weaving the web special ability.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay, we got a lot of 4s and a 5, and then a 2.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool.
That's really cool. Yeah. Okay, so a 5 is a success with a complication.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say what you can do as a just a basic complication is you can reduce the level of effect. So I'm gonna reduce that standard to a limited. So Salia is like, I don't know much about them. I know that they control that main district. It's called the Rookery. It's in the center. I'm sure you've seen it. It's in the center of Crow's Foot. They're out of an old tower called the Crow's Nest. It used to be a watchtower, but it was abandoned, and then they took it over. My guess were to be, if she were to be anywhere, it would be there.
The Rookery it is then. Are you sure there's nothing else you can share about Salia or the crows in general?
I just know that she's vicious, calculating, cruel. And any of the crows, they have black feathers they tie around their wrist. It's a signifier of their gang. And look, and Salia, for context, is Eruvian. So Eruvians are from this like jungle continent that's across the Void Sea from here.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I happen to know from the consulate that the Red Sashes are at war again with the Lamp Blacks. So be careful.
As always, your assistance is greatly appreciated. Hopefully we can get this place into a much more well-maintained state again after we're through with Lyssa.
If there's anyone I'd pick to run this district, it would be you. So any way I can help, I'll help you.
He kind of tilts his head as if he's thinking about saying something, but kind of fights it back. He takes his like hat in his hand and puts it against his chest and just gives a bow. And leaves with this information, which he would definitely share with his comrades. So we'd probably want to look into the rookery, right?
The rookery?
That's probably where, if you guys are trying to like scout it out.
Yeah.
If
I'd
you're
like
doing
to
like a
scout it
scout,
out.
the rookery would be where you want to scout, and unless they're trying to hide their identities as crows, the easiest way to identify them is the black feathers around their
Can I
wrists.
take a few black feathers from my raven and make a bracelet?
You certainly could.
I don't know if there's enough for everybody, but we could share.
You certainly could. I'm just gonna check because I want to make sure that like more than one character can make a gather information roll, because I don't know if
We might be maxed out.
yeah, let me just check though.
Well, still, that's a lot of good info.
Yeah, that is a lot of good info. No, actually, there's no limit. So if you'd like to gather information as well, you can. It just runs the potential risk of being found by these crows.
What was the negative side effect of the Diadem's consort?
So
he just reduced the what was it? The effect.
yeah,
Or like the yeah.
yeah. So one of the options,
limited.
yeah. So one of the options is just to reduce the effect by 1 tier. So it was a limited effect. So she knew a little bit of information, but not as much if you had rolled like a 6 or something.
Yeah,
Now,
at least
so if
pointed us to probably the correct location.
If you get a 4 and above, if you get a 3 or below, does that inform them that they're being watched? Is that how that works, or?
So a 3 or below is a failure, or a 4 or below. Oh, 3 or below, sorry, is a failure with a consequence. So something bad will happen.
So a 4 would still pass, but it'd be a limited.
Yeah, 4 would be 4 would be success with a complication.
Well, I'm all right to go check it out if it's all right with you fellas.
Yeah, you are a hound.
So scout it out. Look for any like scout out numbers that you're seeing from the outside, maybe like any potential entry points, that sort of thing.
What was the place that she's probably holed up in called that we learned?
The rookery.
Rookery?
The
The
rookery.
rookery.
So the rookery is the neighborhood. The actual tower is called the crow's nest.
Oh, crow's
is what
nest,
Salia
okay.
told you.
All right, here's the plan. Gonna send my raven here, Omen, to circle the area and alert me if anyone's coming. I'm gonna sneak around there and see if I can spot Lyssa or any interesting people walking around the area. Any clues, entries, exit points, anything that might be useful to us in this job.
Perfect. All right. So how would you like to go about this?
I think I'm gonna just keep to the shadows and then just try to get some height. And just watch from afar. I don't know if I don't know if I have a rifle or anything right now, but I think I'd just try to get some height, some elevation, and just try to go unseen and see who I can spot, what they're doing, where they're going. I don't want to get too close. I want to keep a good distance and just stay to the shadows like I'm good at doing.
I love it. This is reminding me of like an Assassin's Creed mission almost. Like you're just like on the rooftops looking at stuff. Yeah, so what would you like to roll for that?
I was thinking survey would be the most appropriate.
Perfect. So you can use survey. If you're going to use your hunting pet, you can add a die for that.
Oh yeah, sick. does it let me? What did you do for, or what should I do for position?
Yeah, so for this, I'm going to say this is definitely going to be risky because you're entering the Rookery, which is their territory. If you were actually in it, I might even do Desperate because they're just so, like, packed in there. But I'm going to say this is risky for standard effect. So you'll be able to find out, like, a standard amount of information if you succeed at this.
Just let me add. Okay. Okay, standard effect. And then 1 bonus. Okay. Let's see what we get.
Nice.
Let's go. We got a 6.
By the way, if you roll 2 6s, it's a critical. And you get like an additional layer of effect on it. So it would go from like standard to great. Or from great to like extreme. But yeah, that's great. So with a standard effect, you clearly see, you sort of use your hawk to like look around as well, but just like looking through the scope on your rifle, you clearly see that she is in this like addendum that has been added to this like ancient marble tower. It looks like the addendum used to be like, maybe it was what the guards added, the blue coats added when they took over it as like a proper watchtower, but it's since gone derelict. There are like broken windows, there's like boards up in certain places, the tower itself is like crumbling down, and you clearly see Lyssa in one of the windows, and she's delegating orders. But for whatever reason, she never leaves this tower. She has Bell come and go, who's her like underling, and various other men come and go with like supplies and weapons and news, but she never leaves. Even like during the whole, like we'll say like multiple days or weeks that you're sort of surveying her. At one point she goes up to the top of the tower and walks around, but she never goes out.
Well, boys, we know where she is, and she doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Just gotta get past all her underlings, and she's ours for the taking.
Perfect. All right, now is when we're gonna start things proper.
Oh shit.
How susceptible to falling over do you think that building is?
With your success, it doesn't seem to be like that close to falling over. You need like a significant amount of force to send it toppling.
Like demolition tools?
Yeah, you could try. Yeah.
It's pretty sturdy, but anything's possible. We could see what we could do, and maybe start a fire. I don't maybe.
Is there an exterior entry point directly into the addendum?
You did.
Maybe one accessible using climbing equipment or something of the sort.
Oh, I like the way you're thinking. I saw something like that up there. We could sneak in through there, climb up, and bust in through the back when they're not expecting us.
The downside of this, even though this place seems like pretty fortified, like you see easily like a dozen, maybe 24 men that come and go at any given point. Its downside is it's covered in windows. It's an old stone tower, so like there's not much they can do besides put up boards to try to like block people from seeing in. But like plenty of visibility from the outside depending on where you're standing.
Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna start with the engagement roll, and then we'll get right into the score. So we're gonna assemble a little dice pool here. So I'm gonna say, actually, first off, let me get your approach. So there are a couple options. You have assault, which is you could just do violence to the target. Basically, you just try to like immediately attack Lyssa somehow. You could use deception, try to lure, trick, or manipulate. You could use stealth, try to pass unseen. You could use, well, you guys don't have this, but there's another class that could use occult as an option to get in. You could use social, try to negotiate, bargain, or persuade your way in. Or you could use transport. Not super applicable to this situation, but if you were like smuggling something, that might be an option. So you guys will let me know if you want to do assault, deception, stealth, or social to try to get into this tower.
Ooh, I would like stealth to get in. I would like the guns blazing would be for getting out in the chaos. But I don't know if you guys have a better idea.
This is just to like get in there. Like, what is the planning and load effect? Or this is just like the blueprint we're following until things go off the rails?
Yeah, so the fun part of this system is we cut right into the action. So you guys are going to tell me which approach. The approach tells me what starting detail we're going to start with. So for example, the assault would be like your point of attack. And then we place you there, we make an engagement roll, and we're in the action, and this is happening. So yeah, so what are you guys thinking? Are you thinking stealth for this?
What about deception? Maybe we could steal some of their uniforms or feathers. I mean, we could do stealth too. Those are. I mean, one of the two could be.
Is it possible that there's such a large group sometimes they also outsource some work to perhaps a group such as ourselves, and we could finagle our way in as like a, we want to do business with you.
I think that's like the social, right?
Yeah.
That'd be the social approach.
Yep, that could definitely be social. So yeah, I mean, this game really embraces creativity. So whatever you guys think is most interesting and most fun, I'd say lean into it. Whatever it is.
Is this like a skill check, or is this just like is this the engagement check that we're about to do?
Yeah, so this is before the engagement roll. So this will be your basic plan of attack. We'll establish the detail of like where you guys are, and then we'll do the engagement roll to see how things begin.
I mean, I think that's a good idea. Like, worm our way inside, and then we can kind of work our way up once we're in.
It's also not necessarily deception, because perhaps we are open to other job details.
And I'm sure that she's probably getting a lot of visitors now that she's the new head honcho around in the district.
Perhaps we bring a gift.
Yeah, maybe we're trying to make nice with her. But
Get in
in
early.
reality, we're trying to make knives with her.
Okay, so you guys are leaning towards like a social approach?
I think it's the most opportunistic.
Yeah, it's also pretty fun.
Yeah, I think that it would be like a good way to take advantage of like this shift in power, I think.
Okay,
I agree.
so the detail you guys are going to give me is who is the social connection that's the bridge between you and Lyssa? We've established Salia could be an option. We could bring in someone else that could be a friend of another character, or someone completely made up by you guys right now. It can be anybody.
So are like are the rivals like hostile to you, or are they just a rival? So you have like a competitive relationship.
They can be hostile towards you, yeah.
Deadly friends.
Yeah, some of them.
Some of those say rival. Okay, mine don't.
Well, I think. Oh, you didn't pick yours yet, Caleb. Just
Okay.
So, one of those people you want to pick as your friend. So you're gonna hit the left triangle there. And then
Like the up arrow.
yep. And then 1 is going to be the down arrow, which is going to be your rival.
Hey, maybe you can quickly pick one that would be useful for us.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Why not? My old buddy Chile. Perhaps he's a thug for hire for them, or he's gotten involved with them.
Nice. Yeah, you see Child comes up. He's like a pretty like brutal dude. I think he's literally a vicious thug is his description.
Yep.
So he's like,
Your childhood friends, you see.
yeah, he comes up. There's like that overly aggressive, like just shoving phase that happens between you two. And he's like, "What's up, brother? What are you looking for?"
Well, me and a couple guys are starting, our own little crew, and with this shift in power, we figured we could maybe ingratiate ourselves with the new head honcho, and maybe start up some business deals, or we could do some work for you guys.
All right. You want a Child to give you a little intro to Lyssa and the Crows?
I mean, if it's something you're willing to do, it would help us get this thing off the ground, I mean, we're all kind of down on our luck trying to work our way back up, He knows my story.
Yeah, I'll vouch for you. Lyssa, though, she's staying in that tower day and night. We'll have to meet her on her own ground. That's all right with your crew.
Yeah, sure. What kind of stuff does she like? We're gonna bring a gift. Chocolate?
Only thing that woman respects is coin and blood. So, better bring some coin then.
So when you say coin, like we're getting 8 coin total for this operation, what does that mean? What are we talking about for
8 coin?
How much is that?
8 coin is basically like a month's salary, so it's pretty substantial. For a job that's basically going to be done in like a day. So she gave you 4 coin, which is like 2 or 3 weeks worth of salary for like the average worker. So you have 4 coin to play with, and she's going to give you 4 coin once it's over.
Four coin might be enough to get us an audience with her. At the very least. Get her guard down somewhat. We'll obviously be taking it back real quick.
Alrighty.
Fair enough.
So that is all we need to know for this phase. So we're gonna start with the engagement roll. This is gonna be crazy because this is gonna set the position for the entire first part of the encounter. So, let's see. So you get +1 die for each major advantage. I'm gonna say since you rolled a 6 on that survey roll, you have like a pretty solid understanding of the tower and its different like entry points, and through your contact with Chael, like I'm gonna say you guys have a major advantage, so I'm gonna add a die.
It's huge.
This operation, is it particularly bold or daring? I don't think it's bold or daring. I think this is like a pretty like simple deception, like a simple ruse, so I won't say that. Does this plan expose a vulnerability of the target? I'm not going to say so, because I think going into like this place where she has more than a dozen guys doesn't really make her vulnerable per se. Friends or contacts that provide aid or insight. You guys have Chael, so I'm going to add a die for that. The target, is the target a lower tier? No, they're actually 2 tiers above you.
Oh, shit.
Are there any district modifiers? Let's see. None that will apply here. Okay. So
we also get 1 die from my weaving the web.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right, so that's 3 die. So now we're going to go down the negatives. So is this operation overly complex or contingent on many factors? I'm going to say no. I think it's a pretty like simple ruse that you're pulling. I don't think it's contingent on like a ton to succeed. Target is strong against this approach or has particular defenses or preparations. I'm going to say yes, because the crows are pretty tightly knit. It's going to be hard to try to convince them that you're working in favor of them. So I'm going to remove a die. Is the target a higher tier than you? Yes. So I'm going to remove a die. So this is going to be a 1 die roll.
Oh my god.
Because they're a tier 2 gang and you guys are a tier 0. So they're like, you guys are entering their fortress basically. So let's see how this goes. It's going to be 1d6. And you know what? I'll have Vinny, I'll have you roll a d6. See what you guys get.
This is the roll.
This is the engagement
roll.
Oh boy. Okay, 4.
That's not awful.
Okay.
Could be worse. It's still a pass. A low pass.
With complications, maybe, if that's the same.
Yep.
We can work with that.
Success with a complication. So you guys are put in a risky position when this starts. You walk in and you just get the sense that there's immediate suspicion from these people. You see this huge dude in the concept art I have of Belle and Lyssa. That dude walks up to you first. And actually at this point, I forgot to ask you guys this. What is going to be each of your load?
I think I'm going heavy. I think I want to be packing.
All right, so you can click heavy on your sheet.
What are like the benefits and detriments to each? Obviously you can carry more stuff if you have a heavy load, but I was wondering if there's like some sort of benefit to having a light load.
Yeah, light is whatever you're carrying is not easily noticeable by people that might have like discerning gaze for those kind of things.
Oh hell yeah. I'm going light load.
Okay.
It's gonna go normal probably.
All right.
And we don't have to choose our stuff now. We can choose it as like we need it. Is that how that works?
As it goes on. Yep.
That's sick.
Yeah, so a light load also allows you to move quickly. That's another bonus. So unfortunately, so I'm going to say the effect, the consequence of this is you guys walk in and Ghost has a heavy load, so he has a full-on rifle with him. And you see Bell come up. And he's like, he's got a weapon. Take the weapons. And you see 2 of the crows start to move and start to, they're going to try to confiscate any weapons they can see unless you guys do something. You see Lyssa is sort of in the back of this room. She's on the stairs. And she's like, yes, take anything you think is suspicious, Belle. And then have them speak to me upstairs. And she starts to go up. And you just see this huge dude in a top hat that, with his two guys with him. At this point, there are probably like 6 guys in the room. They start to search you. So, unless you do anything, Ghost, they're gonna try to take like your rifle, your pistols, even the charm you have on you. They're gonna try to confiscate. So I'll remind you, you guys can make an action roll if you want to try to affect the scene. You can also do a flashback, which costs 2 stress, and basically like it's like
Be like, oh, I prepared for this.
yeah.
Are action rolls like the skills?
Yeah. So, and the other option too that you can do is you can actually you can do a resistance roll, which is like if you didn't like the consequence that I narrated of like these guys are coming to search you, you can make a roll. It costs 1 stress, and if you succeed, it just negates that. So maybe like you say something that sort of puts their mind at ease and they decide not to search you.
What is it? What is that called?
That is called a resistance roll.
Okay. That could be an option for us for sure.
Just a business
Yes.
meeting.
I mean, maybe our like what you have on you is it's like advertising. Like this is exactly what we're coming up to show you and show anyone. We're coming up to be bruisers, to strong arm people around maybe, and a display of power is exactly that. To rob us of our intimidating factors, to like what are we to even show her if we're not gonna keep our stuff on us?
I can't display my greatest strength without my equipment.
Okay. So would you like to do an action roll for that? Would you like to use a flashback to like maybe you like research this guy and know that like strength means a lot to him? How would you like to sort of go about it?
Yeah, who's gonna push back?
If you
So.
even want to, because if nothing is done, like he'll just confiscate what's like clearly visible on you. So anyone who has above a
Does
light
anybody
load,
have like a good? Okay, I have a light load, so I wouldn't even be.
yeah.
I look clean enough to not. Okay.
What would the normal receive?
I think I'd leave it up to a fortune roll. So it'd be like just a standard D6 roll to see if you could find those items. But if you did light, he doesn't even find them. Those would be like hidden knives, like small little like things in your shoe and stuff.
Okay. So roll a fortune.
That's if you guys don't want to try to do something in response to this.
Well, and wait,
Is that-
so the flashback. What would be the role for that?
So a flashback you can just do. It just costs stress. So once your stress bar hits like the maximum, you're out of the score. That's the downside.
I'll use a stress. I've opened stress. I'll use a stress.
All right, perfect.
And vice is how you lower your stress. Is that's what that comes up? You can use vice later.
Yeah, so that's during like the downtime phase. So the amount of stress is determined by the GM. So I guess I'm going to have you tell me what this flashback is and how like effective you want it to be, and I'll put a price tag on it in stress. So what is this flashback? Like, how did Ghost know that this guy was going to try to search him? And like, how does he have like some sort of counter to it? And feel free, like, if you have a flashback that like changes the narrative in some way or like adds a new detail that wasn't present, like, feel free. This game is very much like a story editing sort of game as we go along.
Yeah, I think when he was scouting out the area, he saw a couple of guys trying to weasel their way in, trying to smooth talk their way in. And this guy, what's his name, Bell?
Bell.
I think Bell sniffed them out and was like, "Oi, they're Rorik's loyalists." And then, like, you know, from whatever, like, determined that they weren't who they said they were, and they were carrying weapons, and then he just fucking, like, gutted them. So I think he, you know, took the hint that these guys are tough, they're bruisers, they don't fuck around, and so
you could use the flashback to make your load a light load if you wanted.
yeah, I guess, yeah, I'd leave some stuff behind. Maybe not everything.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, but they have something to take.
Yeah, it could even be like, you know, like he opens up the case for the rifle and there's nothing inside, and you actually have a light load on you as opposed to like a heavy one. But yeah.
Yeah.
So something to that effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's only going to be a 1 stress flashback. I don't think that's like crazy to think that would happen. And yeah, he looks in the rifle case and he's like, "There's nothing in here. Why are you bringing around a rifle case if you don't have anything to shoot with?"
I say we're here to talk business. Lyssa will tell us who she wants us to shoot at when the time is right. Didn't think I'd need it today. Got 2 guns right here.
Okay. Yeah, so after the stress is paid, the consequence goes away. So he looks at this like empty case and he's just like, "Very well. I could handle all of you if I wanted to. Follow me." And he heads up. You see he has 2 like huge hatchets on sort of this like this belt around underneath his overcoat. And he leads you upstairs. And he leads you into the upper floor of this addendum. And it looks like a laboratory of some kind. You see on the shelves there are like all these like gleaming glass bottles. There are like glowing chemicals and like these weird like cylinders and like strange like metallic objects that are arranged with like diagrams on some of the desks. And you see a guy that immediately upon like heading up the stairs and looking into this room, you see Lyssa, sure, but you see a guy in a plague doctor's mask, and he sort of looks over for a second. He looks at Killian almost like a second too long. And then he takes off his mask. You see he has like half of his face is sort of like disfigured. You see like one of his eyes is sort of like almost out of the socket, and there are these like electrical burns down his face as you recognize the face of Revan.
Ribbon. Yeah.
And he's like, "Lyssa, don't trust them. They're here for nefarious reasons."
Aren't we all, Riven?
You fuck.
I think the
You fucker.
discerning lady can decide for herself. whether we would be beneficial to have under her wing.
No. I'm not staying if they're here. He looks over to Lyssa. And Lyssa seems kind of torn. It seems like this could go either way. She's like looking back and forth. What would you guys...
Come on, Riven. I've never seen you give up so easily before. Don't worry, I wouldn't be working that close to you if that's what you'd be worried about.
That man is a thief. He is a rapscallion. He is a scoundrel. He used to be nobility, but he is something much more foul now, Lyssa. Don't trust a word that he's saying. And unless you guys make an action roll, he's going to start to convince Lyssa. And I'm going to start a little progress clock here. If he succeeds in what he's trying to do, I'm going to tick a clock that is essentially Lyssa's suspicion that something may be going wrong. It's going to be a 4-segment clock. So if he manages to convince her, that's going to be 1 segment on the clock. She's not going to throw you out, but she's going to be like, oh, maybe there is something to this suspicious meeting.
Okay. Do either of you guys have skills that can either like sway or command, like some more like social skills?
I have one in command. I could try to intimidate him to back down.
Okay.
I mean,
I
I guess I could use consort, right? Because he's like he's technically on like my friends list, right? So maybe I could belittle him or something in front of Lyssa to show her who the actual like weak one is here.
Yeah. So at this point, I'll give you a little devil's bargain here. You can choose to take it or you can choose to ignore it. You'll get an extra die if you choose to accept it. And this will happen either way if you're successful or you fail. Revan is going to try to sabotage the success of this meeting. Even if Lyssa does not believe him, he's going to actively try to work against your guys' interests.
Well, I'm sorry to get off on the wrong foot, but I'll have you know that you're probably aware of Riven and his previous loyalties. He's always been set up with the crows, you know. And up until very recently, I believe he was under the employ of Rorik, was he not?
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, he sort of looks around kind of nervously.
He's a nervous sort, don't you think?
Lyssa, he speaks with forked tongue. He's not to be trusted, not at all. He crossed me before, and he will cross you just the same. So yeah, now I'm gonna have you make a roll. So you can choose whatever skill you'd like. Would you like to accept the devil's bargain, or would you like to not?
So wait, how does a devil's bargain work exactly?
So it'll give you an extra die in your roll, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
But as a result, the bargain I made is if it's a success or a failure,
he's gonna actively try to sabotage us.
Yep. So I'll basically make a progress clock for him. That's like when it's completed, he'll actively sabotage the meeting.
Okay.
And you guys can do actions to like reduce that clock too, potentially, but
we could like chase him out of the meeting or something.
You could. But yeah, would you like to accept that devil's bargain, or would you like to pass?
It gives an extra die to this roll.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely doing a consort roll because that has to do with like relations, and he's one of my he's my like rival.
Yeah.
So leveraging my past with him and being able to like push the right buttons and everything, and I'll accept your bargain, Tyler.
Nice.
I'll accept your devil's bargain.
Okay. The other two things, guys, keep in mind, you can push to give yourself 2 extra die, an extra die at the cost of 2 stress. And you can aid someone, which costs you 1 stress and gives the other person a die. So maybe not mechanics that'll come in this roll, or they could, but just something to keep in mind. You can always push and aid.
Is push like is it like a Delta Green push or?
No, it's
just pushing yourself.
Yep.
So like you take the stress to add a die.
Yep.
I see.
But it can be very useful if you're like in combat, you're about to die. You can push to try to like get a better,
You take us. And what was the other thing you can do besides pushing?
You can aid.
Yeah, you can aid, and I guess I already accepted a bargain. It looks like you can either push yourself or accept a devil's bargain. At least that's what the text here says. But yeah, I'm taking the bargain for sure.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you get an extra die. So yeah, why don't you give me that roll? We'll see what happens.
All right, so just 1 extra die to this roll.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the position here?
Position is risky.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it's for standard effect.
Okay, bonus dice 1. Okay, that's a 4. Luckily, a lot of 1s in there, but a 4 I will accept the complication or.
Is a 1
the
a critical
consequence.
fail, or is it just the worst outcome, or is it like how like a 6 or is a double 1? If you get all 1s, is that the opposite of like 2 6s?
Yeah, so that's like an extreme negative result if you get snake eyes. But yeah, so Devil's Bargain, we're gonna check one of the 4. I'm basically starting a progress clock for Revan affecting this meeting.
He's swirling together his chemical solutions.
He started like doing like a
chemical.
If you imagine like a Grima worm tongue type situation where he's like whispering in her ear, he's like, "They can't be trusted." So he has 1 segment on 4 for that clock, and I'm gonna put a 1 and 4 for Lyssa. I think she's a little suspicious, but she's not gonna throw you out yet. She's just like, this is kind of odd. She does have like half a dozen guys in the room though, so she feels more or less at ease. But yeah, she motions towards like a wooden table in the corner of this like alchemist slab, and she's like, "What could you possibly offer to me that I don't already have, darling? You wish to become soldiers for me? I know that you are fond of Rorik. How do I know that you're going to be loyal to me?"
Allow us to speak in a language you're sure to understand. Loyalty is one thing. It's fickle from man to man. Who knows, the friends beside you now might disappear in no time. Loyalty to people is transient. You need to be loyal to something more eternal than that. Something that won't
What, are you religious or
turn
something?
its back on you. Oh, the only god I pray to is the god of coin.
Very good. You've done your homework, that's for sure. But you still haven't told me what it is exactly you want from me.
Think of it as an investment in both you and ourselves. We are establishing ourselves as capable fighters, not just those who are willing to rough people up. We are able to get around. If we were any of your crows, then any of your rivals would spot us a mile away, but if we're free agents, so to speak, we can get places you normally would not be able to send your own men. My friend here left his rifle at home, but I can assure you that, oh, he is so very skilled with it. And my comrade to my other side, I mean, just look at him.
Just
He's
grunts.
not afraid to break a few bones here and there.
He like cracks his neck.
And I chose the word investment very carefully. Investment in you and an investment in us. I aimed to put a gesture of good faith, since we are on the topic of religion, towards you to perhaps send more jobs and contracts our way in the near future. He pulls out a little purse that's carrying the 4 coin in it.
Oh shit. Okay. So if you're gonna give this to her, you can make a roll to essentially try to convince her. I'm gonna add a die because I think this is a major advantage, showing her this coin. So you're gonna get 1 bonus die off the jump. What would you like to use to try to convince her?
Can I take a stress to aid him as well?
Yeah, you definitely can. Keep in mind too, you guys can use flashbacks. Like, it's very, very pliable. So you have a lot of tools at your disposal to affect how things occur.
Ooh. I'm just so unfamiliar with how to use flashbacks in a situation like this.
I know, it's very different than like how we usually play games, but
yeah. It's like everyone controlling the narrative.
yeah.
I mean, maybe this could kind of be a study role. In the sense that we learned about this coin trait from Salia, so like that she's like obsessed with wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be like information on her. So like maybe just using information on her to our advantage. So I'm gonna pose it as more of a study role than like necessarily a sway or anything. Just instead of like pleading with her or using straight up charisma. I mean, she said it herself. It seems you've done your research.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I might take 2 stress to also push myself on this roll to add an additional die.
Nice. Yeah, so you're going to get 2 extra bonus die.
Huge.
Yeah, and maybe like we can flavor Gorn's assistance as, you know, him exactly that grunt, that show of just like his presence when Diadem was making these gestures
Yeah,
towards Lyssa.
maybe he even intercedes between Revan and Lyssa. Like he stands in a way so that he's kind of like away from her and not influencing her as much. Just his presence alone lending that authenticity to this. I love it. Yeah, give me a roll.
Okay. So what is the position?
So the position is still risky. I'm not going to say it's desperate
Okay.
yet because there's no reason for her to like freak out or anything. And I'm going to say for great effect. I think if you succeed on this, she's going to be convinced that you can at least be base level trusted. Because her clock
Jeez.
her clock of suspicion will be wiped out if you succeed this.
Okay. Please, give me at least a 4.
Double sixes.
Okay, it's a 5.
Or
It's a 5.
Five's good. That's pretty good. Five's pretty good.
Okay. The complication is this. Her suspicion clock remains at 1 because she looks down and looks closely at these coins. She sees a little engraved B at the center. And she's like, I see now. The Hive must have sent you.
The Hive. I'm glad you noticed, because the Hive is just an example of the sorts of folk we can get in to meet with. The territories our group can enter.
Look. And it's interesting because like her suspicion doesn't necessarily increase when she says this. She's like, it seems as though you were sent to kill me. That's all well and good because that's not happening today. But what this coin proves to me, indeed, it does prove your connections, sure. But it does prove that you follow the money. So I'll tell you what. She pushes the coins back towards you. I will double this sum if you murder Jera for me.
Well,
That's for upfront payment.
that's
And then we'll go back and then we'll.
well, we
double
did get
our fee.
we did get half of the coin up front.
So you admit it
So
now.
double the amount up front. Guilty as charged. But my loyalties, again, to people are very fickle indeed. If you're willing to pay double what someone else would, then
Meanwhile, Revan is like, you're crazy for trusting them. They do not have your best interest in mind. Please, Lyssa, please. And she just like puts her hand up. I won't double it for someone who comes into my own tower under such unassuming means. It is crafty, surely, but I can't pay you all of it up front. That would be madness. 6 coin.
Half of it.
Ah.
6 coin?
6 coin. 4 coin upon, I did the math wrong.
Be 10 coin,
Yeah.
right? Upon completion.
Yeah, well, she paid you... Yeah, so 2 coin upon completion.
Well, we would get... We're going to get 4 more coin upon killing her, right?
Yeah, so she's
So
essentially...
8 total.
Yeah, so she's offering you 8 as well, but she's offering you 6 up front, as opposed to Jera, who offered 4. Do this for me, and I think we can find ourselves to be of the same feather.
And how long?
What'd you say?
Can you tolerate?
Oh, okay.
How long can you tolerate it taking for making your problem disappear?
Oh, if this is not completed by dusk, it will be forfeit.
You are an interesting woman. I like interesting. Very well. We shall take the coin now. 6 up front.
Bell.
And the goal here for Killian is in this moment where she's feeling like she's... I'm assuming that after our dealings are done with her, she's probably gonna fucking toss us aside and kill us or whatever. Take the heaviness out of the situation and maybe get a little bit of a excited celebration between him and his comrades, and just very subtly getting into a position where he's closer to Lyssa.
Oh, cool.
And I
Close enough
believe I'm in between her
as
and
an ambushing with close violence. So that he can get close enough to draw a hidden blade
shit.
and just slash her throat.
Okay.
And I would.
So I'm gonna
sorry,
say.
Was I,
What were you saying?
was I between her and the other guy?
Yes.
Good. Good.
So I'm gonna say this. I think she's purposefully set things up so you're not like on top of her. I'm gonna make this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this a 4-segment clock. Every success you guys get will put you in a position to take her out. And on that final check, it'll be probably a great level of effect if you're able to pull this off. If you manage to make it to the end of the clock, you'll just essentially slit her throat and she'll be done if it's successful. So, and failure just means her suspicion clock will go up, Revan's clock will go up as well. What would you like to do to try to get closer? You're gonna try to ply her with some some alcohol or something, or some celebration, you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, what's a business dealing without a nice hard drink to share between everyone? I don't know. Again, do you guys have good social skills that can help
Only
with
command.
this? I think.
I don't know if that would be
Oh,
applicable.
you do
in
have the bottle of
situation.
whiskey. I forgot. That's funny. That's a good use of that, actually. Diadem has a bottle of whiskey in his items.
Oh,
That's
do I?
good.
Yeah. So you could use that as part of your light load.
Okay.
Or if
That sounds good to me.
if you don't want to use your load too, you can also use a flashback to
I
be
mean,
like, I brought this, or blah blah blah.
Ooh. Is there anything you guys want to do to add to the situation? I would really like to be able to use prowl at some point to very like subtly get closer to her and closer to her.
Well,
I'll say too, with each success
I don't know.
On the clock, you can reposition where she is in this building. So if you get a success, you could like move her down a floor as things like progress. You could start to move her outside or to the top of the tower. We can be creative with it.
Are there a lot of other people in this room?
Yeah, there's like 6 dudes. So that's why I made it a progress clock, because it's like you're not close enough or you're just, could one-shot her.
Yeah.
But it'll be a little bit of like a
gonna-
trap that you'll have to set.
I was gonna say this earlier. I don't know how it'll play out, if it'll actually end up helping. But when she was going over the con, wanting it done by dusk, I'll chip in from the back. All right, I'll do it for the 6 coin. We'll get it done by dusk, but we'll need that nice necklace of yours you're wearing, of course. We'll return it to you afterwards, but it wouldn't be good if we showed back empty-handed. If we want to get close and finish this quick with Jera. Just something to let her guard down and let her think that we've taken care of business over here. And like I said, once we take care of Jera, we'll return it to you in exchange for the rest of our pay.
I like it. Yeah, she looks down. There's like a little locket around her neck, and she looks at it kind of like longingly. So I'll need some kind of a social check from you to try to convince her, and this will be part of that clock to get closer to her, because she's gonna have to like hand this to you through an intermediary.
I guess I'll make a command roll.
Okay.
And
So you're being a little
I can take
forceful with it?
stress- Yeah. You're gonna give us that necklace, and we're gonna take care of this for you. And
I like it.
I can take a stress to add a dice. Is that how that works?
You have to take 2 stress, but I'll
Oh.
take a stress to add a die for you.
Yeah, to aid.
Oh, because you're gonna aid me.
Yeah, but you can push, which will be.
And so in pushing, you take 2.
You take 2,
Is that how that works?
and you add a die. So. Oh, and actually, I didn't realize this before. When you push, you actually add a level to your effect, which means this will go from standard to great effect, which I will rule as you'll get 2 segments on the clock to get closer to her.
So this is a risky position.
Yes, this will be risky position,
Or-
but for great effect.
Great effect +3. Bonus die. Here we go.
Nice. That's a crit.
That's a crit! Wait, that
Let's
increases
go.
the effect
Yeah,
again, right?
to
Is that what it does?
to extreme. So
Let's
In this-
go.
in
That's
this-
huge.
in
Yes.
this severe lapse of reason, she gets up with her locket. She reaches to hand it to you, and there's a moment where she passes directly in front of Killian. It's now or never. This is the
Ooh.
moment that you could slit
Yeah,
her throat.
I will make that
Stab her.
prowl check.
Yes.
Basically, an
Yes.
extreme success is like 4 segments on a clock, so you just cleared it immediately. As she leans forward, she's maybe not even thinking about like the consequences, but she leans forward with this and she hands it to you and says,
Yeah, maybe it was like such like a brash
yeah,
move on your part that it kind of just took her by surprise.
and she's just like, don't lose this. And at the same moment, boom, Killian comes in with the knife. So you're gonna have to make some sort of attack roll. I'm gonna give you +1 die for this, just catching her completely by surprise. That's a major advantage.
So I could use prowl for attack, right? It does say like a backstab, throat cutting.
Yeah. You could use
ambush
prowl
with close violence is like what it's used for.
Yeah, you definitely could.
That's my bread and butter, baby.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say
I'm gonna add that blade to my inventory first of all.
Perfect. So I'm gonna say this position is still risky, but it's for great effect, and if you succeed, you just slit her throat in one shot.
Fuck.
I'll give you an aid if I can.
I would love that.
Keeping other people away.
It might be worth it for me to just push myself right now.
Yeah, so
because like you.
So how do you
the magnitude of success, like do something crazy in this situation?
Yeah, I think if you make it to extreme, so if you succeed on this, you'll manage to not only like slit her throat, but you'll sort of like maybe push Revan and one of the guys aside and create an opening for you guys to flee. Like you could basically get it done so quickly that, or maybe you could even give your friends a signal that like this is about to go down, so you guys can like start to make it out and not just get immediately ambushed. That would be an extreme success, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna spend the 2 to push myself then.
Okay, what's your stress at right now?
I have a lot of stress. I've taken on 5 stress so far.
Holy shit.
But you know me, I like spending resources.
We can take 9. We can get up to 9.
Yeah, up to 9.
At 9, do you trauma out, or is it after that?
At 9, you trauma out, yeah.
Okay. And you said you were giving me a die as well, Caleb?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what do you do to help
I've got
him?
a plan for our escape, by the way.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah, how are you helping me?
Well, I was already trying to get in between what's-his-face and her and the rest of us. So, essentially, I'm just trying to make it so, A, less people can literally see what you do, but B, give you more room to do it and potentially, like, take something from you, give you more room to do the killing and perhaps any extra stuff you'd like to do with the body, like get more money off or something along those lines. Maybe a thumb to prove the killing. Maybe a tooth if you're willing.
Bag of teeth.
All right, so I guess I'll have it's 3 extra dice, right? Because you said I had an extra. I pushed myself and I'm getting the aid.
Yeah.
So position risky. Effect would be what? Extreme at this point?
Yeah. It may or may not be an option on there, but if it's not, you can just put great. Extreme is just the one beyond great.
Okay. Yeah, extreme is an option on
Oh,
here.
cool. Yeah, so it'll be an extreme effect. You'll slit her throat and be able to start making your way out.
Please. Bonus dice 3. That's a 6.
Let's go. So just describe to me what happens. She reaches out with this locket and she's like, "Don't lose this on me." What happens in this moment?
Yeah, she's focused right now on you, Ghost, right?
Yeah.
Here, Diadem from the side, as if as if Lyssa were speaking to him the entire time. He's the one who's replying to what she says. We won't. Immediately, like, thrusts a hidden blade, like, through the locket or necklace that she's wearing, so that it's already, like, around his wrist, and just plunges it into her throat.
Oh, shit.
Withdraws it. Oh, I feel like this is okay, so the item says a blade or two. We'll say he has 2 blades. And this is like some fucking secret long wallow family assassination technique.
Yeah.
Just not only kill her, use the other blade and just like carve her up a ton.
Oh,
like
shit.
in a very quick actually maybe not kill her instantly. Maybe that first blade comes up like in through the bottom of her mouth, but not like up into her brain, so just kind of like skewer her underneath, because that's what we were asked to do, right? Like make her hurt if possible,
as brutal as
so like
possible.
skewer her underneath, just shank her like a ton in the stomach, so to not instantly kill her, and like in this chaos. This probably only happens over the course of a few seconds, but it's probably an agonizing few seconds. I take back what I said about loyalty, and then just take the other blade and stab her through the side of the head to finally kill her.
She falls back, her body's just all cut up, there's like blood flowing down her like corset, and she's just like on the desk at this point. It's sort of, we go into like slow motion, and we just see like Bell grabs both of his hatchets, the other 5 dudes that are in this room with you start to close in. So I'm gonna begin the clock of like escaping this building. It's gonna be a 4-segment clock. You saw coming in, they had like a bunch of guys downstairs, as well as like dogs that they use for patrolling outside. So those are gonna be an obstacle getting out. But you've successfully killed this woman, assassinated her. So I'll have everybody just tell me what action rolls you want to do to try to escape. You could try to flee out the window. You probably would take some harm though from the fall. You could try to go into the tower. There's like a door that you could go in and either go down or go up, whatever. Or you could try to go back down where you came. The problem is there's just like probably like 8 or so men that are just congregating down in that hall.
Does anybody else have climbing gear?
I mean,
have what?
I do now.
Yeah, as an option, climbing gear.
Oh, you could use that, yeah.
I could.
Keep in mind too, you guys can use flashbacks as well, so you can come up with something kooky to get out of this situation.
Could I use my not to be trifled with special ability to basically try to like get our group of people space towards a window, if that's the escape route we want to take, just by like literally scaring the shit out of and fighting perhaps the whole group?
Yeah, so not to be trifled with is very powerful. You can engage basically everyone in this room as if they were one person. So the way that would work is you could actually just, with your single roll, determine if you get a success. If you get a complete success, you could like take everybody out in the room with this roll. Because this is not...
Bro, flip a table, shove everyone out of the room, fall down the fucking tower.
Yeah. Like, because this is not like D&D. It's like, this could happen over like a minute's worth of time. You know, like cutting this guy down, cutting this guy down. If you fail, though, there will definitely be some harm that I'd have to inflict on you for the violence. Because they're going to be trying to hit you.
Sure. What would be the impacts if I, per se, had a fine heavy weapon?
A fine heavy weapon. I think that adds a die, but let me check.
I haven't used any of my bar slots technically as of yet, so it may cost 2, but it may be worth it to just heave it around at these fools to give us space to escape and hopefully knock some of them out.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So what weapon do you have?
Are there options for heavy weapons?
Yeah, you can just tell me whatever you that conjures up in your mind, because whatever you choose will affect. It doesn't actually add a die, but it can raise either the effect or the position that you start with. So, for example, if you had like a, if you're engaged with someone and you had like a rapier and like a duel, you could have like a controlled position, or you could have like a greater effect because you're using that to its fullest advantage.
Yeah, I think in this situation, fighting a big group of people, he would probably have just like a two-handed broadsword that he's just like waving around, just like full head sweep of this gigantic sword.
Guts from Berserk. Let's go. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna change the effect from standard to great. Like if you can successfully like just cleave, you'll take out like 3 or 4 guys. Maybe the rest will flee. That's great. So you can make.
Can you use skirmish?
Yeah, I think skirmish would make the most sense. You can make a skirmish roll.
Gorn.
I say I'm actually gonna put the position at desperate, because I think if this goes wrong, they're gonna swarm you with weapons. But I'm gonna put the effect. Okay. Yeah, so just remember to take that 2 stress.
Yep. And what does that change?
That gives you an extra die.
Okay, I haven't gone through the clicking yet. Okay, so standard. What are the effects? What do I choose?
Vinny, what's your stress at?
Position.
I'm only at 3, so I can take a good amount more.
Position is desperate. Effect is great.
Okay. Okay, bonus dice. 1 because I push or 2 because I push myself.
Yeah, you get 2. Yeah.
Come on, baby.
And how does not to be trifled with interact with this?
That's allowing you to engage these guys
allowing
at
you
all.
to the entire group at once instead of one person.
Gotcha.
You're just being like,
It's fucking.
oh.
Okay, 5.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay. So what I'm gonna say is this. You take your broadsword, and just with one cut, you just cleave through one of the guys. Both of the halves of his body just like fall to either side. You see like 2 of the guys just start fleeing as soon as they see violence like of this magnitude. Like this just seems crazy. You hear a commotion downstairs, the barking of dogs. The downside is there is one guy that has a knife, and he comes up to you, and seeing his opening, he slashes you. But because you got a 5, you're gonna take only a level 1 harm. And so in the like level 1 bracket of the harm, you can write bleeding arm. Basically, you have a cut across your arm, and it's just like starting to bleed down. And there are still probably like 3 or so guys that are still here. One of them who just sort of slashed you. The other 2 who are like, one of whom actually is Bell with his 2 hatchets, and Bell just like gives you this death glare, like he's about to kill you if he comes up. That's great. What are you guys doing? Ghost and Diadem.
Yeah, I mean, while he's taking on the entire thing, I mean, I don't. You go first, Vinny, because I talked more recently than you.
How much of a gap is there between the enemy line and us / Gorn? Is he right in up on them, or is there like some space between us?
He basically just took his sword, got in the middle of them, and just hacked a dude down in one swipe. So they're all surrounding him. They're probably like 2 or 3 feet away from you, though. So you have like a little bit of distance.
Would I be able to like fire a gun without harming Gorn though? Is what I'm wondering, or would he be caught in the crossfire?
Yeah, no, you definitely could.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use a flashback. Take 1 stress, right? And is it 1 stress for a flashback?
I believe it's 2, but let me check.
Oh.
Oh, actually, I determined it actually. So let's hear the flashback.
Sorry. So before coming in, I think I took maybe some rope, or twine or something, and I took my fine pair of pistols and like on the back of my like thigh, just like taped them around in like an area that they weren't likely to check. They were kind of distracted. I knew they'd be distracted by like the rifle case. I'm a kind of a ganglier guy. And so I think I was able to maybe hide some pistols to sneak in for a moment, just like right now.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you got them on you.
Sick.
I'm going to say that'll just be a 1 stress flashback. I don't think that's like I don't think that's like an insane ask. You could go really crazy with the flashback. Like, so a two or more stress flashback would be like, like we hired some gang to come in to deal with the bottom tier people. You could go crazy with it. This will just be a 1 stress. So.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my special ability. I'll use 2 stress. I'm gonna like, for dramatic effect, like pull my half cape aside and just like reach down like through my pants, and just like pull out these pistols, and I'm gonna unleash a barrage of rapid fire to suppress the remaining enemies.
Hell yeah. So I started a clock that is the remaining guys up here. It's 1 segment filled in because 1 guy's just been hacked down, so there are 3 guys remaining. I'm going to say if you get a 6, you'll manage to take out 2 guys. If you get like a crit, you take them all out. I'm going to say your position will be risky. You're not like up in the fray. But your effect will be great. I don't think they see this coming. You can just like sort of fire on them while they're engaged.
All right, and then is that a hunt roll? Is that a?
You could use hunt. I would say. Yeah, you could definitely use hunt if you wanted. It probably would be like a skirmish, but I could see hunt working. Hunt is a little higher for you, right?
Yeah, it's a little higher.
Yeah, you could
if
use
allow
hunt.
it, I'll do a hunt.
Yeah, it's very flexible. So.
All right. And then what did you say for position and?
Position is risky. And effect will be great because I think firing in this like close of a quarters will be pretty devastating.
Right, and then I think that's just a straight up. So I don't think there's any bonus dice that. Okay. Here we go. Oh, let's go.
Nice.
Woo.
Oh shit.
6. Needed that 6. 6 and a 1. Ugh.
Okay, so that's a complete success, which means you take out one of these guys. Maybe it's one of the remaining goons. You just like take a pistol and just fire point blank. The dude just goes down. And with a complete success, I'm also gonna tick your clock for escaping. Because now that like a gunshot has gone off and it's getting serious, it's becoming easier to potentially escape this place. That's awesome though. So
That's sick.
Yeah, let's see.
So what is Diadem doing?
Diadem. So now that there's a ruckus, I'm assuming we're gonna get more people running up the tower to come and fight. So nearest window, while my two companions are helping out, gonna use my climbing gear as a part of my light load to like affix like this like rope and grappling hook to like a windowsill and secure it in place for us to be able to make our escape.
Nice. And you see simultaneously, you see Revan is like in the corner. You like forgot he was still up here, and he's like seems to be rifling through a drawer for something. But it's something you notice as you're starting to flee. Yeah, would you like to try to repel?
Yeah, and I mean Prowl does say like climbing is part of it. So I think I feel like Prowl would be the skill to use here. Yeah, to like set up the escape rope and grappling hook so that my allies, when they're ready to retreat, also rappel down.
Alrighty. I'm going to say this is a risky position for standard effect. You will manage to get this in a position so that your allies can use it.
Alright, risky position, standard effect, no bonus. Yeah. A 6.
Oh, you guys are getting lucky with these rolls.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so you managed to get this climbing rope down. Now that there's been a gunshot, you even hear in the distance like the sound of blue coats drawing closer. You know you only have like a few moments to escape, but I'm going to tick the next segment of your escape clock. You guys are now at halfway escaped.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly acknowledge Revan as I'm about to dip out the window. Don't be so hard on yourself, Revan. You were right after all.
I love
The
it.
taunt.
I love it. And he's just like rifling through stuff. He's like, they never listen when I tell them what to do. And he's like looking through. It looks like he's like looking for a potion of some kind, maybe. But yeah, that's gonna take us to Gorn. You're still up here, and I'm gonna say like your position is gonna stay desperate because you're in this melee. So any failure is gonna inflict more and more harm on you.
Gotcha.
And now that we're actually moving on too, I think Ghost is gonna start to be in a desperate position the longer he stays up here as well.
I'm gonna say I think I am gonna try to at least try to disengage backwards towards the window, like not turning from them, but like keeping my heaving sword kind of like in a retreating motion to prevent them from getting closer to me. I'm just gonna kind of like swing it defensively as I back up, just to protect myself as I try to get closer to the window so I can escape.
Love it. So this is another skirmish.
Ideally.
Okay. Yeah, so you can make that roll. It'll be a desperate position for standard effect. I think if your standard effect is you're fighting these guys back.
Yep. No bonus. All right. Let's see. Okay.
Okay. You take a level 2 harm. This one you can write as I'm gonna say leg gash. One of the guys has a sword and just like cuts you across the leg, and there's just this big open gash. There's blood flowing down your leg now. You know, it's crazy because you'd be taking way more harm, but you're fighting these guys like it's one person. Like you're just like parrying, you're fighting like very, you know, handedly. And with that, you do manage to take out another guy. So it's just Bell remaining, the guy with the 2 hatchets. Maybe he's the one who buried the hatchet in your leg. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you for what you did in this life or the next. Um,
Let's aim for the next.
Great. So, yeah, what is Gorn doing? Or sorry, Ghost doing?
I think it's time to make my departure out the window. So, did
You don't want to finish this dude off?
I mean, we're running out of time. I mean, did Diadem left out the window, didn't he?
Yeah, I dipped out.
Did you use climbing gear, or what did you do?
Yeah, I left like a grappling hook with like a rope in the windowsill.
Yeah, I think
So you could rappel down.
I'm gonna leave, but I will send my Raven Omen. Just to. I mean, I don't know if he's even after me, but if it's gonna help Gorn, you know, I'm gonna send my Raven just to kind of dive bomb the one guy left and just buy me and maybe him some time to either escape or loosen attack, but just
Peck his eyes out.
Nice.
Yeah, and then dip the fuck out of there.
Okay, so you can choose. Would you like him to add a die to your roll or to Gorn's?
I'll have him add a die to Gorn.
Okay.
It's thematically fitting.
Perfect. And yeah, at this point, you're hearing the footsteps of these other guys coming up the stairs now with the dogs. So you know you don't have long. But yeah, what type of roll would you like to use to escape?
Can I use a hunt roll to escape?
That might be a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hunt a target.
I don't think hunt would be fitting.
You could use hunt if you wanted to take
did-
this guy down that's in the room, but I don't think you could use it to escape per se.
No.
Could he at least get a bonus die because I already secured the climbing gear in place so that he doesn't have to like fumble around with it or anything?
I think that'll just affect your position. So
Okay.
your position.
I think this will be a prowl, probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
prowl is the main climbing one.
Cool.
So risky position, or is this this is risky? Is that what you're saying? It's bumped down from desperate?
Yeah, bumped up from desperate. So it'll just be a risky roll where it would have been desperate before because there's a combatant in the room and he's like hacking around.
I'll send you an aid.
Nice.
Standard effect.
Standard effect. Yeah, you will escape.
And one bonus die. All right. Let's see it. Oh, crit! Oh, tell me, what does a double 6 crit get me? That's insane. That's awesome.
A crit?
It's gotta be something insane, right? Well, I'm glad I gave you that
backflip
aid now
out of
because
there.
that should be like a really...
I don't even need the grappling hook. I backflip out in superhero land on 5 stories below.
Yeah,
Your
so
fucking Raven catches you midair and you just...
Yeah, I fly away.
I think for a crit on this, because it would essentially take your effect to like a great effect, it would also clear your leaving clock. So I would say you actually, I think the rules say that for like a crit, you can determine an extra effect that you would add on to this. Since the leaving clock is cleared, you could potentially say that like you've cleared the way for Gorn to like immediately escape, like no roll required with your crit. He could retreat back out as long as he doesn't want to finish this guy. Okay.
I'm hurting. You can pull me out.
That could,
Yeah, I think I just give him the easy escape. We did our job. We're gonna go back and get paid.
Yeah, I mean, to even make this make more sense, I think you throw the bird and he flies into Belle's face and Belle stumbles back down the stairs. And so he like, which like, it makes sense. Like this is like a rickety old tower. So he falls back and he falls back into the men that are coming up the stairs. So they're all sort of like congested a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Gas guy just
The only
barreling into them.
The only thing that might have been an issue is like the dogs that they have run past and they run up into the room. But by this point, Gorn is like basically in the window and like crawling out. The blue coats you hear in the distance, but like, are you guys just gonna like flee as fast as possible, try to get out of the rookery?
Yeah.
I think so. We did our job.
Yeah.
We weren't sticking around.
Yeah, and I think that was a successful score. I think you guys assassinated her. You got out all alive. A lot of you have a lot of stress, but at this point, I'll just have you each give me like a little bit of a coda. Like, what does the end of this this one shot sort of look like for each of your characters as they go back? So I'll start with Killian. What is Killian's coda?
Killian's coda would be him immediately making his way back to Jira. Right, that was her name, the one who gave us this.
Jera, yeah.
Jera. Going back to Jera, giving this like blood-slicked necklace again because he was the one who intercepted it and just like got it around his wrist in this whole debacle. You know, my contacts say that Lyssa was always out for blood. Liked it perhaps even more than coin. You can be certain I gave her a taste of her own. And the stress was worth it for him. I feel like, again, his vice is obligation. Like, he feels the need to, like, restore, even though his family's not there, but, like, the image of his family back to, like, its former glory as, like, a well-oiled machine of assassins. And he feels pretty proud of his team here. And even if they don't make, like, a ton of money from this, ambitious was the word that we chose for our crew, right? And I think with how much riskiness this team is pulling off, we're trying to ascend as fast as possible. So he's excited for like the connection that he's made here with Jera, and getting bigger scores and bigger targets in the future.
And she seems very
Doesn't
pleased.
really care about the money right now.
She seems very pleased by this, and she just smiles, and she's like holding this bracelet. There's even maybe a little bit of blood trickling on her old weathered hands, and she's like, "You are a professional, I suppose. What would you say for to some new territory in Watershed? I could have you running the neighborhood with your boys, paying up to me. It would get you out of the war you're likely to face here if you stay."
I think it's best for both of us that you came to me with this job. Good for you, good for me. I accept your offer. I hope to do plenty more business with you in the future. And he stands up again, taking like this fancier looking hat, and he puts it up to his chest and a hand out. Or actually, I guess maybe, depending, it might be like one of those like fanciful like kiss the hand sort of thing.
Yeah, I love it. Dope. What does Gorn's coda look like?
Gorn gets out of this and has to get healed back up. He's got some wounds he must take care of.
Oh, absolutely.
Which doesn't not remind him of his old street fighting days, getting patched up after a fight. But he definitely feels like this was more in line. This was less of a cheat than he'd become, and this was like a very honest is a weird way to put it for a crime, but like a real
Straightforward,
real true. Yeah, this was real. We did we did a good job doing a crime, as opposed to just like faking people out or scamming people. He's done with scamming people. He's all back in on homicide.
Yeah, cut some dudes down.
It's just criminals killing criminals. Like, what's the deal?
He felt really strong, which was nice for him again. He's kind of a freak.
I love it. Well, he grew up in the streets. Like, he's a tough. Great. And what does Ghost's coda look like?
Well, Ghost didn't suffer too much physical harm, but he did take some stress, so he's going to indulge a bit in some. His preferred vice, he chose stupor, so he's gonna go and get plumb fucked up. Whether that's, getting some liquor and alcohol, or maybe there's, like an opium ball or something similar in these parts, and just gonna nuke himself and just let his troubles melt away, and spend some of that well-earned coin and just fucking fade into oblivion for a night or so, just going a little bender.
I love it. Such a typical just like underworld personality. Just like spending it all on drink. Maybe he has no coin left when it's all said and done. Now he needs to get a new job to sustain himself.
Yeah, the months you're rich, you get like a month's wage in like a couple of days.
Spends it in a night.
Spend it all.
But yeah, we sort of find you all setting up shop in this like way different venue. It's like this like artisanal district of this place called Watershed. You're shaking down like painters and like artists who are like they have to pay up to the Hive, which are like these upscale merchants, in order to continue their business. And the coda I have for this story, based on how things have went, is the final shot we see is we just see two kids sort of playing down by the water. It's like this murky, almost like the Thames in London, but like back in the day when it was just all sludge. And one of the kids is like sifting through the mud and finds something shiny, and maybe it's a boy, and the girl next to him like slaps his hand and is like, "Don't take it. The lady will take you if she finds you. The weeping woman." And they both kind of like scurry off, and the boy's like, What weeping woman are you talking about?" And the girl explains, and she's like, she points towards a bridge in the distance, and she's like, "There's a woman ghost what haunts that bridge. Story goes that she lost her necklace and she's trying to find it." And that's where we're gonna leave off.
Oh yeah, everyone turns into fucking ghosts. They die.